Hey guys, I got another video for you that we put together today on running one of our Strike Series bass boats in some rough seas. And so Alan took the boat out in rough seas. This is actually Eric Cagle's boat. Eric Cagle was the 2020 Crappie Masters national champion. So he ordered a boat from us to do some guiding out of, as well as fish his tournament circuit that he does so well in. And his boat's about ready to be picked up, and we went out to prop the boat out and make sure that the prop and everything works good like we do on all of them. We water test every one of them, but we also took this boat out to get a little bit of, we took advantage of a day where the wind was blowing 25 to 30 miles an hour on the lake, and we had some rough seas. And in fact, most of this was shot in solid 3-foot seas. So talk to you a little bit about who's going to care about this and who's not. You're going to find that these Strike Series bass boats, the speed that they offer and the ride that they offer, is something that it really appeals to our serious tournament fishermen out there. Not that you have to be a serious tournament fisherman to enjoy a Strike Series boat. That's not what I'm saying. But those are the guys that are really catching on to this hull because of how well it rides in rough water and because of how fast that they can get up to in these boats. So this boat runs about 80 miles an hour. That's too fast for me. I don't need to run that fast. Most people don't need to run that fast. But when you find yourself 15, 20, 40 miles from the weigh-in spot, and you're trying to fish till the last minute that you can, that could be until you need to run, 20 minutes to get back, or you need to run an hour and 15 minutes to get back. So it cuts into their fishing time a lot. And along with the speed on that also is the ability of the boat to keep a good speed in rough seas. Because what if 7 miles of that is across 3-foot seas? Now you're doing 20 miles an hour instead of 40 or 50. So that is what really appeals to our tournament fishermen. Number one, would appeal to Eric along with a lot of the other guys is the ability to come here and get the boat custom built however you want it to get built. That's first and foremost, and that's been a trademark of Gator Trax for almost 22 years now. But the second thing is to be able to get a quality product that's going to stand up to the type of use that these guys use these boats for. These are not weekend anglers. These are not guys that only go a few times a year. These are guys that are in their boat every single day that the sun comes up, and they're using them in conditions no matter what. You can't decide now what the weather is going to be on April 13th on the day of your tournament. It may be blowing 30 miles. Just look at what they went through in Grenada last week on 20-degree temperatures and snow and ice everywhere. You don't know what it's going to be, and so you need a boat that's going to stand up to that. And you're going to see in this video, and I didn't edit much. I'm going to let this run just so you can see this boat was taken out, and he ran it in lots of different directions, back and forth across that lake. You'll see the spray coming from the right and the left and head on, and you'll get to see what you will have to experience in this boat if you use it in a tournament conditions or any conditions, but especially one that would require you to run these types of speeds across water that's this rough. Which brings me to another point. You're going to see some spray. You're going to see he's got the GoPro camera up here on top of his head, wearing it like this. And over the top of the console, you will see some spray hit you. No one ever said that this boat won't get a drop of water on you. And if you have any experience in running these types of boats in rough seas before, you're going to know what you're looking at. But for those of you that don't, you can take a 27-foot chaparral across water like this and catch a little bit of a flicking of spray coming at you, depending on which way the wind is hitting you. Because the wind's blowing 30 miles an hour. So when you hit that spray, it comes up and the wind may catch it depending on which, and you may get a little bit of a mist across you. But nobody's getting soaking wet in this boat. And that's the key. So you can see at the end you can see some of the spray that was left on the seat, the couple of little droplets that got on his life jacket and his raincoat. You'd kill to have a boat that rides this good. You can watch his reflection in the big GPS there and see that his shoulders aren't jumping up and down like that. He's steady riding like this in the boat. Everybody's sitting in that row where his passengers, his guide, people that are going on guide trips with him, his fishing partner, including the driver. you got a smooth ride at 40, 50 miles an hour across 3-foot seas. So that's what you're looking for. You're going to get a little bit of a spray from now and then. And I didn't edit any of that out. I wanted you to see the good, the bad, and the ugly. But this is 99% good, and you can compare it. I don't care what you compare it to, what kind of glass boat or anything else that you want to compare it to. It's going to hold its own in that, if not exceed that. So that's what we're trying to get across and showing you. And also another point to tell you, if you look at other aluminum boats or even some glass boats that you're riding in water like this, stumps and logs and things that you hit and impacts, that's one thing that tears boats up. And yes, that does, but that's not really what destroys these boats. That's not what splits them in half. We see it all the time. That's not what puts 15, 18, 27 stress fractures in the bottom of other aluminum bass boats. This is what does it. This is what kills those boats, running them across a rough sea faster than you need to. He could have slowed down in this boat to 20, 25 miles an hour and not put a single drop of water inside those rub rails. Not a single drop. But the point was to show you how quick he could run across that without beating his boat to death, him to death, and soaking himself. So it's a lot of video. You can watch as much of it as you want, but those guys that are interested in it and thinking about spending this caliber of money on a boat like this is for you. I hope you enjoy it.
folks. Just a little demonstration of the 22 model, the Gator Trax. I think this is a 22 footer out on choppy water. You know, at Gator Trax we never stop. Our new year models have a little bit more tweaking, and we're always looking for a better model. I know y'all seen footage in choppy water before. Just a nice windy day out taking a little stroll.